Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me, and we are exploring the energy surrounding the disappearance of Tamia Taylor. She was celebrating her 21st birthday by taking a booze cruise excursion in Memphis, and they were going down or up the Mississippi River. She had went out with 3 coworkers. Now, I don't know if these coworkers are current or past ones, but it was 2 females and 1 guy, 1 male. And then it made them all like a foursome, right? There's 4 of them that went out to celebrate her birthday. And what's interesting is that there's so many conflicting accounts from her friends on what happened. So her friends have said the consensus is that she never left the boat, that she never got off the boat, and that's what they're saying, that they searched high and low for her and they couldn't find her. And eventually they reported her missing and notified her mom. And her mom was like, she got conflicting statements of even them saying that she never got on the boat. And I don't know all the details surrounding that part, but what ended up making this even more strange is there were witnesses. There's a woman who actually was on the boat and saw Tamia on the boat, inebriated, seemingly, I believe, dancing by herself. And then thereafter, when everybody disembarked the boat, after the, shindig is over, the partying, the dancing, the drinking, and celebrating is over, the boat docks, and there was a gentleman who drives like a shuttle golf cart, taking the people from the dock to their parking spots, and he says that he offered to give, this group a ride, but they refused. The guy refused, and he starts pushing Tamia up this hill. And there's then other accounts that this gentleman friend of hers that she went out with as a part of the foursome ended up putting her in the back of a black truck. So again, these are all rumors, and we have to be careful about, a lot of rumors. And we also have to even be careful about what people are stating, because sometimes, there's different levels of credibility when you're dealing with statements. And I'm not just talking about whether somebody's lying or not. I'm talking about whether they were inebriated or not, whether they really saw anything, whether they were mistaken and, they thought they saw her, but they didn't, but all signs point to she was on the boat. There's chunks of time where she was by herself. There's even a couple of folks who have said that she disembarked the boat. So why does that conflict so much with what her gentleman friend had to say? All right. That's the intro. I just wanted to give you all a rundown based on what I was able to gather. Please do your own research when it comes to these cases, and form your own opinions, right? And keep an open mind. That's what I ask of all of my viewers. So yeah, and you're allowed to have your opinions, right? Over on this channel, you can definitely have them, but let's just be respectful of each other in the comment section. But I want to hear from you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We've got a lot to cover, I have a feeling, in her reading. All right. All right, so what we're looking for, Spirit, is answers regarding what may have happened, who or what is the cause of her disappearance, anything you wish to share about what's going on with the situation surrounding Tamia Taylor's disappearance. We have door. There's too many. B. House. Devil. Okay. Someone, the devil seizing an opportunity. It's a situation that needs to be cleansed. That's interesting. Sitting under the bee. Anything else? Boot. Okay. Now, let's talk about it. Now, there's different options of what may have happened to her, right? I mean, some people think she fell overboard and it just, no one's seen it because it's dark, or heard it because it's a, DJ going on and people are drinking and there's a lot of talking and commotion, dancing, right? So maybe she fell overboard. Then there's the option of maybe she met up with someone at the party. Her guy friend said that she was standing in line and a gentleman struck up a conversation with her, and he acknowledged to she's a Virgo, and he gave her some money. This other guy gave her some money as a generous token of, for her birthday to celebrate, use the money to celebrate. And so that's interesting to me. Okay. But there's no other mention about this gentleman on the boat. And from what we can tell, no one has come forward to say that they gave her money. So, I don't know. All of these, and then there's people saying there could be trafficking. And then there's some people who think something happened with the friends. And so there's all these different angles that this can go. So this is why I'm thinking with this reading, we really want to keep an open mind and explore all different meanings that the cards could mean, okay? So you may get tired of me doing that, but it's for educational purposes also that I'm doing this reading. Yes, to see if we can hone in on some different clues. Let me fix my light. Or it may not just be different clues. It's helping you all to understand how to interpret cards, how to, decipher what's coming up. And understand that there's different meanings, but, yeah. And how the cards talk to one another. Now I can zoom in a little tighter. Now we got the door card. And that's about someone seizing an opportunity, entering a new situation in life. Hold on, I'm going to pause you all right quick. All right, sorry about that. I had to answer the door. Okay, so we got the door. This is about an opportunity, entering a new situation in life and making choices. Maybe a choice about who you're going to associate with or be around, a choice about doing this versus that, maybe celebrating on this boat versus not celebrating. And, it's over the devil card, and we'll talk about the relationship between door and the devil when I get to this card in a moment. But what's interesting to me is that she was supposedly amongst coworkers, okay? I don't know what company she works for. I didn't go digging around like that. Maybe if you all know in the comments section, please let us know what you know. But she apparently worked with these folks. So we have the B card. And that, to me, when this card comes up, is about coworkers, productivity, being around people that you are building you're working together, you're building something together. So that's what I see with the B card. And it's like, okay, she had a choice to maybe hang out with family or not to celebrate her 21st birthday. She had a choice to be with her coworkers. But what was behind that? That's what's peculiar to me, this choice. What was behind that? Was there something that wasn't, kosher about it? This is a card also about social interactions. Yeah. So that's interesting to me, that there was something, the bee is sitting over the sage card. Sage is about clearing something, clearing energies, or clearing something that needs to be cleared, right? Something that needs to be purified, something that needs to be washed away, driven out, protected from. Now, some could say maybe she needs to be protected from some kind of devilish situation as it relates to her colleagues or her coworkers. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean they had anything to do with it, but it could be like, do these people really have your back when you go out? Like, are they going to be the ones that you can really trust, like, to have your back, you know, not leave you off in a corner so you could dance by yourself, that they're going to be there. Now, there's a video of her on the boat, and it does look like she's on the boat. She's dancing by herself, you know, doing a little twerking thing, and it looking cute. You know, it's her 21st birthday, and someone's holding the phone. So it must be, I would think, someone she trusted to hold her phone or to even be comfortable to videotape. And who may that be? It could be what we see here with this B card. So maybe this is saying that they do know more. Maybe they are omitting something out of fear. Maybe they're omitting something out of needing a need for protection. Maybe they know something and they're afraid and they need protection. And by the way, anything that I'm saying as it relates to this case is of my opinion, of my intuitive hunches. This is all alleged, okay? I'm not assigning guilt or fault. We're just discussing what came up in the cards, what comes up for me intuitively. You know, that's what we're talking about here. All right. The House card. Having a sense of personal identity, family or stability, a safe place. Maybe she thought this was a safe space. That could be what that means, you know. Her identity, something about her identity. I don't know what that means. But that's how the phrase pops up in my mind's eye. Like something about her identity, about who she is, or what she has to offer. That's interesting. And this card can also mean, it can mean all of those things I just mentioned, but it also could mean she had a choice between maybe spending her 21st birthday weekend at home with family, a safe place, or with coworkers. There's something, I don't know about that, a choice. Now we have the Devil card. Now we need to talk about this one a bit. The key words associated with the Devil card are evil, nasty habits, deceit, and abuse. An opportunity to do those things for this particular evening. An opportunity to indulge, which in and of itself is not a bad thing. But in the context of someone who is missing, well, it's kind of worrisome. The Devil can represent abuse of alcohol, abuse of some, drug, whether it's prescribed or not prescribed, allegedly. It could be some kind of devilish activities, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that they did anything towards her, but it could mean that they were engaging in activities that put her highly at risk and left her vulnerable and wide open, maybe leading her to a devilish outcome, leading her to an evil situation that set her up to harm her. And these coworkers are supposed to protect or offer some level of protection. One would think that if you're celebrating your 21st birthday, there would at least be one person who has their head on straight and keeping a lookout and making sure that the rest of us, and especially the birthday person, is you know, not falling off the boat, or safe and not wandering off to, you know, the bathroom by themselves or talking to some stranger. You know, it's frustrating when I do these readings, these types of readings, and time again, you're hearing these kind of odd stories of like people just letting their friends wander off, unless there's something more here with this devil card, and we'll explore that. I'm sure Spirit's gonna reveal if there needs to be more revealed here. Lastly, we have the Boot card and the Sage card. So I've already kind of touched on this about what that could possibly mean, but let's talk about the Boot for a moment. This is, to me, sometimes about disciplining someone, putting someone in their place, getting a foot up or a leg up, preparing for action, walking. It could literally mean on foot, somebody doing something on foot. But this, when this comes up, it could be like, it could be forceful action. And it could be like, you know how like somebody has this, they'll say something like, I have my boot on their neck. Like just really like the physical act of that. Hopefully not. Or metaphorically, like, you know, they won't let up. Somebody won't let up. We need to be protected from this devil. Someone won't let up. It's interesting. This also can mean that all of this transpired on foot. So not too far from, she disappeared not too far from the dock situation. Okay. With the lack of water showing up thus far, I'm wondering if she would be, if water is even in the equation. And that is also because the witness on the go-kart shuffled, you know, the shuttle driver, he saw her on land. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's where we're going to pause here, because now I'm doing timestamps of these things. Before I do that, though, I do also want to say that the very first keyword for Boot is travel and moving forward. But it's also discipline. But travel, we have to think about that as well. Like transporting her, she moving on her own, some sort of travel, some sort of moving from point A to point B. And we've got to consider that as well. Moving her from a safe space, a safe place. Like this could be even something, this fateful night of her going, it could be all part of a devilish plan of planning to do this particular event. It's like candy for a 21-year-old to go to a party boat to celebrate your 21st, a milestone birthday. How could you resist that? And there's an opportunity here. What is that about? An opportunity to get ahead and to take something of value from this house. I said that earlier, that somebody saw something of value from her. Okay, friends, I'm going to pause here now, and I'll be back with another oracle deck. And yes, be right back. All right, so now we are going to look at the divine shadow energy surrounding the situation. I mean, it could just be her, helpless. There's been a couple of accounts of her being very inebriated, so that could put you in a helpless, vulnerable state, right? Helpless, vindictive. One or two cards, please, Spirit. Thank you. Emotional blackmail. Now that's interesting. Somebody being emotionally blackmailed in the situation. Jealousy. Aloof. Sitting underneath the helpless card. We'll look at that. 3 more cards, Spirit. Thank you. Empty. Vindictive over empty is worrisome. It's really worrisome. It's like psychopathy? It's not good. I'll zoom in just a moment too, so you all can see. No, Spirit, 2 more cards, please. Ambivalence. All right. Regret. Somebody's already feeling some sense of regret, and that makes sense with this situation. It really does if you think about it, because, I mean, come on. Like, even if the friends truly, and I mean, they're innocent until proven guilty. Nobody's accusing them of anything. I'm not, at least. But you got to feel a certain way. Like, you have one job, and that's to make sure the birthday gal is having fun and returning home safely. I mean, I don't know, unless there's something going on here. Helpless. So, helpless over aloof. Being helpless can be a sense of being very vulnerable, and maybe not aware of what's going on, or there's a need to be aware, but you're not being aware. Okay, so, and we're saying that because we have the aloof card. Like, this is you being helpless has you also being aloof and not as aware of your surroundings, wary of your surroundings. Okay, this also can represent energy coming towards Tamia, where it's like someone's being aloof. Be tending to someone who is helpless. Although I really feel like that's speaking of her energy. Vindictive over empty. This is part of that devil energy here. Vindictive over empty. Someone who has a spirit that wishes to cause harm, or does or feel ambivalence about someone being hurt, someone being sick. They just have this coldness to them, this, like where most of us would feel a way about seeing someone who's needing help, not getting help, or actually putting them in harm's way. And just, this person doesn't have that. They don't have that in them. Okay, so someone amongst her circle, or that night, is vindictive and empty. Now, does that mean that they, are direct-handed, like directly involved in her disappearance, like cause harm to her? No, not necessarily. It could mean that they're like, because we have the jealousy card, maybe that prevented them from really caring about her, and not really caring if she wandered off with someone else. That's also something to have regret over, right? Like, really? I don't know. It's interesting to me about with the jealousy card. And then what's also another dynamic going on here is emotional blackmail over ambivalence. Now, could this emotional blackmail have been going on before this night, before she disappeared? Perhaps. It could be. Very well could be. We'll see how the rest of the readings go. But yeah, but there's also emotional blackmail going on now. Someone feeling emotionally blackmailed. Someone feeling like you're holding me, to saying this, or I feel emotionally blackmailed, and, it's causing issues. And it's over the ambivalence card. It's like, I'm not liking what I'm seeing here in terms of, I just feel like no one really had a tie-in to her. Like, they could say that they're friends, and maybe one of them might have been considered a real friend. But now energies like jealousy, emotional blackmail, you need to do this for me or else. You need to say this or else. And someone's got regret. There's just this level of detachment with the people that were around her at the time that she disappeared. This just level of just not caring. And it's really odd to me. Regret. Now, this is interesting because it does indicate that someone holds regret. Maybe someone holds regret about encouraging her to go this night to have fun. Maybe maybe she's alive and well and she's having regrets, right? We hope and pray that she's alive and well and just can't get back home yet. But I'm recording this as of September 16th, 2023. And she's gone missing on September 9th. It's been a few days, but we can, she could very well be alive. And she could be the one holding heavy regrets about what's going on here. Okay, so there's that. But there also could be people who are part of her night and may know more than they are revealing, that holds regret, some more than others, and that may make them eventually ambivalent and not be so beholden to this emotional blackmailer. Okay, eventually, like, more truths might come out because someone has regret. All right, I'm gonna pause and go get another deck. Be right back. All right, so now we're gonna work with the Dark Mirror Oracle, just getting 1 to 2 cards surrounding the situation. If it can give us any indication if she's, lost, or on, this was her disappearances of her doing. We have sacrifice, or if there's something more going on here. Sacrifice. Bride in a cage. This feels like being trapped. A woman being trapped. A beautiful woman being trapped behind bars, or trapped in a way that her freedom is taken. She can't escape. She's locked in. Sacrifice. Now, what is that about? This could be someone who, this is where it's going back to that devil card, some sort of sacrifice. What could be a sacrifice? I suppose it could speak to that, human trafficking element. Perhaps, maybe. Or the ultimate sacrifice of making a choice to accept their offer to do this. I would be curious to know how it came about. Like, did she plan this whole thing for her birthday? Was it a combination of some of the coworkers? How did it come to pass that she went with this particular group, this little ragtag team? How did she end up with them and versus some old friends from grade school or high school? Or maybe her cousins that she grew up with, or her sister, or even a boyfriend. How did she end up with this group? And that would provide also some clues as to what's going on here, is what I'm saying, because of the B card. There's clues in that. There's something very important in that. So I'm going to just, as I've been doing in recent readings for these types of readings, I have been enjoying just reading excerpts from the Dark Mirror Oracle's guidebook, because it's always got some interesting information that I'm called to share with you. So we're going to do that. That's what we're going to do right now. Sacrifice. Moon phase, waning gibbous. Stage is anger. Okay, let's see if there's anything that stands out to me. There's a strong power in sacrifice. Our fears, our hopes, they are all changed to a small world. Our sense of self is a small, petty creature of uncertain resolve and shaky horizons. With sacrifice, we renounce some sense of self. We accept to be lost. We accept to be shaken and cut and bruised and hurt and burdened and locked and stricken and despised and gossiped and betrayed and be misunderstood and be left alone to rot, to die, with just words of thanks while the world goes on over our broken dreams. But when we drown our sense of self to sacrifice, we are also a greater person. We are screaming, I exist. I make the difference. We accepted a price to pay. We used our blood and tears as currency that give us the right to stand tall. It's interesting. I mean, the stage is anger, sacrifice. wow. I'll have to sit honestly with that, because there's a part of me that wants to talk a bit more about it, but out of respect for the family, I won't at this time. I'm going to just refrain. This bird. It could be bird in a cage. Bride in a cage, 21. Moon phase. Waning crescent. Stage is denial. Tomorrow will be the right moment. Tomorrow will be better, even if today is hell. And all I'm going to say here on this one, I'm not called to really read the book. I'm just looking at it visually, and I just feel like there's some sense of trap. This trap as it relates to this sacrifice. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to have to sit with these cards a bit more on her case, like just these cards, and explore a bit more about them. Sometimes what I do is I'll take the tarot offline, not where I show it. Sometimes I'll show it with you all when I'm recording, but other times I just do it for myself and explore a bit further about what is really going on here. But I'm just called to withhold further insights into this. I mean, this could be a good sign that maybe she's still alive, but I'm concerned because of the fact that there's time that has passed, right? And what is the sacrifice? Is it her, God forbid, or is it something else? We'll have to explore a bit further. All right, I'm gonna stop here and just see how much time we have on recording for this oracle reading. It's going to be a massive reading, so I just want to watch the time on it. Be right back. Okay, so now we're going to work with my Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle and see what's going on with Tamia, like what may have happened, where she may be at, what's behind all this. Vehicle transportation. Okay, let's mix it up. What can you share? Clean up. Okay. I'll zoom in just a moment so you can see what we've got. Father. Could be someone's father. Could be a father knows something. A father of a witness. A father of a perpetrator. It could be maybe... I don't know, could be a male, represent a male involvement, a meeting, okay, some kind of meeting. Oh, that's interesting. Moving from like a city or urban area to suburban area. It's maybe stranger to her. Interesting. Accessory after the fact. Okay. And some kind of meeting. I know she had to commute or travel far, not far, but she had to go to the city of Memphis to embark on the boat. Look, we got that blackmail and extortion card again. Isn't that odd? We got emotional blackmail earlier. This is a 160 card deck, so it's always like when cards kind of come up and they're talking to one another like that. It's interesting to me. Denial. Somebody's denying. Debt. Someone feeling like they're owed something. That's interesting. That could be with blackmail. Robbery or burglary gone wrong. 2 more cards. Ooh. It's interesting to me that Spirit has not really said or given like anything that indicates something has happened to her. Doesn't, mean nothing's happened to her, but I just find that interesting, right? So there's that. It's good news in that regard. I guess in some times it's like no news is good news. So we're going to talk a little bit about what's we got going on here. We have vehicle transportation. Someone traveling, her commuting, her traveling, maybe whom she traveled with there, or also this could speak to, remember how I was saying the boot card can mean travel? Vehicle transportation. So moving her from on foot to a vehicle and then taking her out of the area. Somebody's trying to clean up this situation, trying to do, damage control, trying to cover tracks. Sometimes that could be just the boat company trying to absolve any liability as it relates to her disappearance. It could be her friends trying to wash their hands of any wrongdoing. But it also could be a cleanup of a crime scene. It could be a poorly done one. There could be evidence of that. Or it could be evidence of a cover-up or a cleanup happening, or it did happen. Sometimes the evidence showing that a cleanup did happen that could be part of circumstantial evidence, right? So, yeah, that's interesting to me. Like I mentioned before, the father card can mean like someone who's already a father. It could mean who's maybe seen something, knows something. This person could even favor this gentleman that may know something, know a bit more about her disappearance. It could also represent that a father figure in a witness or perpetrator's life, or someone close to Tamia's situation or her disappearance, knows something or unwittingly or wittingly has helped in some situation of what? Cleaning up, covering up. And I'm saying that because we've got the cleanup card. And then with next to the father card, we've got a vehicle transportation card. And then suburban. I found it interesting that we got like several different locations here. We got suburban, city or urban area, rural or country. It could be that, this is describing again, she was traveling, I think, with the guy. She traveled to his spot, picked him up, and then they traveled together to meet up with the 2 ladies. From what I understand, that they had to, she had to do a little traveling. Could speak to that. And that in and of itself offers information for us about whom she was with, the last people she was known to be around, right? However, it also could speak to someone who is related to her disappearance that has moved from here, from here to here to here. Yeah, so that's interesting to me. Meeting. There's some sort of meeting. Now, meeting after the fact, after the, them disembarking the boat, perhaps it could be speaking to that. It could be that this is, there's some evidence that may not have been communicated with the public, but there is some sort of meeting following getting off the boat. Again, I'm finding it interesting that we're not getting water cards, and I'm gonna probably end up doing a subsequent reading. We'll see, because this video is getting rather long, but I want to explore a bit further. So there may be a part 2, 3, 4 with this one. We'll see what's revealed. I mean, we got this stranger card, so it could be stranger danger, someone who is a stranger to her, that is part of this meeting. Okay, that's interesting. Or it could be that something, you know, that it's not, this could signal that maybe it's not necessarily directly her coworkers. Maybe her coworkers know something, but they're skewing information because they're afraid. They need protection. Remember, we got that earlier. But maybe one of them know this stranger. Maybe the stranger card is about, look at that, is a stranger to Tamia, but maybe not to the people that she knows, or that maybe there's a connection there. Accessory after the fact, someone helping, helping to move her, helping to cover up, helping to straighten up timelines, etc. Accessory after the fact. We've got information. Someone has vital information. Someone that's close in the city of Memphis that has information. This is also saying that there is a lot of information that's going to be coming out. There's already a lot of information that's conflicting itself. So when the card like this comes out, it's Spirit telling us to be cautious about where we're getting our information from, to vet it, because this story is going to have a way of taking off and going in different directions, and sometimes not in the best directions, because it leads us astray with what's fact from fiction. Oh, wow. Okay, so then we have blackmail or extortion. Somebody extorting someone. Could Tamia have been extorted? Could she unwittingly be a part of some scheme that involves, you know, her having to be a sacrifice of some sort? And now, you know, this kind of absolves the debt that is owed. You can't see it. It says debt here. Could be that. It could be that someone knows they have information and they are holding someone emotionally hostage or blackmail. Like, oh, if you tell about this, we're all going to go down, and I'm going to tell about what you did over here one time. And that's, you know, it's emotional blackmail. But extortion could even be something bigger, you know, than that. Some kind of crime scheme that's going on, right? Denial. We do have a gentleman, her friend, denying having any involvement. Of course, that's his right to do. And of course, I mean, yeah, you know, he's got to defend himself. But there's this level of denial going on about involvement. No one really wants to come forth and really say anything. There's a denying of information given. But there is a gentleman who is denying any involvement, and that's interesting. It's sitting underneath the accessory after the fact card. Maybe he knows more than he's, you know, revealing allegedly, etc. Maybe, I don't know. Debt. Someone feeling like they're owed something, that they were owed something as it relates to her disappearance. Like they're entitled to something. Like, you know how there's someone who owns the debt and someone who owes the debt. And it feels like that dynamic is a part of this whole thing, which is interesting to me. Maybe in her eyes, it was like a robbery or burglary gone wrong, but really it's a part of some other kind of situation here. I mean, sure, it could be a robbery or burglary gone wrong with a stranger. Sorry, my dog is barking. Landfill, dumpster, trash. There could be vital evidence there in like a nearby dumpster or trash can, near the, you know, the pier or the dock where the boat came in. There could be surveillance cameras near dumpsters that face, you know, maybe the boat where they disembarked from. You know, I know that there's no cameras on the boat, according to an employee who gave like a little interview. It gave they didn't identify who they were, but they gave a statement to the news, and they were like, there's no cameras on this old boat. And I would hope that there would be cameras at least on the dock area, or, you know, where when the boat comes in, one would think. I don't know. But there could be some information here. Somebody could have thrown something related to this disappearance away that is very important for the case. for finding her. Private property just indicates that perhaps she's now on private property, someone's land. It is land, private property. No trespassing. What is that about? These cards over here jumped. We have man. And you look at that. We've got like a window here with bars. We've got bars in this card. I got a sense of being trapped due to, you know, a man having to do with her feeling trapped or being trapped. We have hired help. There's money, dollar signs, that goes along with the accessory after the fact. Someone's hired, someone's helping, you know, wittingly or unwittingly. Someone may eventually have to lawyer up, because that could mean that as well with this card. There's even lawyer on here, but it has multiple meanings. Also, if her family hasn't done so, they may want to consider getting a private investigator, because I just get a sense that law enforcement, I don't know, they may need some assistance. I'll just say that. We're going to keep hope that, you know, she's going to be found, and law enforcement's going to be a big help. But, you know, just, I think that it's time to pool resources together for a PI, a private investigator. Friends. This card, when it came out, I was like, oh boy. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to me that Spirit is more so talking to me about actions than there are about her falling into water, her ODing, her having, you know, there's nothing of that nature. Like her, you know, falling into the water, God forbid. It's about her being moved. Look at this. Rubbish, landfill, dumpster, trash. Someone treating her like that. That card came up. We got that. 2 different decks. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it doesn't take years. So it's giving, to me, it's giving an energy of, I could see something about movement, her moving, her somebody feeling like they were offering something up, and it was her. She was of value. So, I don't know. I'm going to show you all these different cards, and then we're going to wrap it up, because I'm going to come back to this and do a part 2 oracle reading. And then from there, I'm going to identify some questions for part 3 for a tarot reading, because I still have questions. For example, what is the credibility of the witnesses? Me personally, I feel like they do have strong credibility. That's what my intuition is saying. I also want to explore the credibility of the statements that are coming forth from her friends or colleagues that she was out with. I want to explore where she might be, who she might be with. You know, I'm going to pull cards from my Sacred Spaces Oracle and my Defining Characteristics Oracle, so we could see if we can hone in a bit more about who might be responsible, because I do feel that so far it seems like there's not really an element of water that would be here. There's movement, taking her somewhere, holding her against her will, etc. Throwing away vital evidence. Yeah, and then we got December card, maybe someone's birthday. We got greedy, someone who's greedy, wanting something for themselves. Another breaking and entering kind of card. Robbery, burglary gone wrong. That's what I'm picking up from her. Like she's saying, I thought that's what was going on, but really that's what wasn't going on. Something else was going on here. They wanted me. And then we've got some kind of natural preserve here. Waterfalls, bushland, or forest. So that kind of ties into suburban or city, suburban, rural. It's maybe a vehicle traveling, transportation traveling to these spots. Yeah, and then we got short hair, shaved. Could be somebody who's going to shave their hair or recently cut it low. Pay attention to that for those around her, or, you know, just pay attention with that. And then we have years. Hopefully it doesn't take years. Maybe this is just speaking to this whole situation being like years in the making. Like, it feels like some sort of operation when I see the extortion card. It feels like this has been something that's been ongoing for years. Some kind of arrangement. Yeah, I didn't know what direction this reading was going to take me in, but here we are. I am going to come back to the reading table once I get this one uploaded, and then we'll keep going. We'll just keep going. If you think of any questions, please let me know in the comment section that you would like to see in an upcoming reading surrounding Tamia Taylor's case. Let's send her family and her friends and her precious children our love and our thoughts and hopes and prayers for her to be found safe and sound, for all to be well. That's what we hope for. We are allowed to hope for that, right? So we will do that. We'll hold space for her loved ones. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm curious to hear what you all have to say about what do you think happened. You know, I want to hear from you. Stay tuned for future parts that I publish on this case. Do me a favor on your way out. Please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm back. I have to sometimes take frequent breaks because these cases are heavy and life be lifing, and you know how it goes. But I am ready to go. So I'll see you all around the channel. Bye for now.